the national objectives and directive principles of state policy, provides that the state shall encourage private initiative and self-reliance in order to facilitate rapid and equitable development. This objective is in line with Section 2 of the Public Enterprises Reform and Diversity Act 1993, the objective of which in part provides for the reduction of government entity holding in public enterprises and promotion of local entrepreneurship. Further, the bill violates Article 21 of the Constitution, which provides for a right to equality and freedom from discrimination, wherein all persons are equal before and under the law in all spheres of political, economic, social, and cultural life, and in every other respect, and shall enjoy equal protection of the law. Subsection 2 provides that, clause 2 of Article 21 provides that without prejudice to clause 1 of this article, a person shall not be discriminated against on the ground of sex, race, color, ethnic origin, tribe, birth, creed, or religion, social or economic standing, political opinion, or disability. Article 40, clause 2, entitles every person in Uganda to the right to practice his or her profession and to carry on a lawful occupation, trade, or business. The only exception to the enjoyment of these rights and freedoms is under Article 43, which prohibits a person shall not from prejudicing the fundamental or other human rights and freedoms of others or the public interest, which shall not permit political persecution, detention without trial, any limitation of the enjoyment of the rights and freedoms prescribed beyond what is acceptable, demonstrably justifiable in a free and democratic society, or what is provided in the Constitution. The committee notes that the proposed limitation of the enjoyment of economic rights through the creation of a monopoly is not justifiable in a free and democratic society. The committee noted that the clause contradicts Section 2, Section 6, subsection 2, paragraph A and B, as well as Section 7F of the Principal Act, which obligate the minister to make legislation and regulations to secure adequate supply of petroleum products at competitive, I emphasize at competitive cost for all consumers, promote the increase of opportunities for regional petroleum trade, and encourage a diversity of supply sources, as well as the observance of the principle of free market economy and fair competition. The clause further offends the Section 30 of the Principal Act, which prohibits activities against fair competition. The committee further noted that the Competition Bill 2023, as passed by Parliament, though not yet assented to by the President, was a government bill whose policy objective was to promote sustainable, fair competition in Uganda and prohibit anti-competitive agreements which have an adverse effect on competition in the market. It is important to take cognizance of its intended principles, which received cabinet approval before it was tabled in Parliament. The committee noted that Ugandan courts have struck out provisions of law that grant the government preferential treatment over private parties. For instance, in the case of Attorney General versus that past experience of monopolies, including Umeme, the Enrico agreement, the iron ore agreement, and the structural instrument that was issued, the Dura Cement agreement, have cost the country money and set a bad precedence for monopolies in Uganda. Thus, the committee's decision against creation of monopoly for the petroleum sector. Committee recommendation. The committee recommends that clause 1 be deleted from the bill. Interpretation. Clause 2.6 to introduce a definition of licensed oil marketing companies to mean a person granted a petroleum supply operations license under Section 17 to import petroleum products into Uganda. Committee recommendation. The committee recommends that as a consequence of a rejection of clause 3 and clause 2 be deleted as well. Supply chain of petroleum products. Clause 3 of the bill seeks to substitute Section 29 of the Principal Act, which allows any person, whether Ugandan or foreign, to participate in all or any activities of the supply chain by restricting the importation and supply of petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market to the licensed oil marketing companies to be undertaken only by UNOC. The clause, however, empowers the minister by statutory instrument and exceptional circumstances with the approval of cabinet to nominate such other person to import and supply all or a portion of petroleum products. The exceptional circumstances are where UNOC fails to import and supply petroleum products in any given month, or where UNOC becomes insolvent. The clause further obligates all licensed oil marketing companies to purchase all of their petroleum product requirements from UNOC or other nominated person by the minister. Committee observation is, the committee noted that UNOC is incorporated as a limited liability company solely owned by the government of Uganda, with its function set out in Section 43 of the Petroleum Exploration, Development and Production Act 2013 to include A, to handle the state's commercial interests in the petroleum subsector, to manage state participation in petroleum activities, and to manage the business aspects of state participation. The committee further noted that under UNOCO's Memorandum of Association, the objects of the company include to manage the state's commercial interests in the petroleum subsector on behalf of the Republic of Uganda, to manage state participation in petroleum activities, including its business aspects. The committee therefore noted that there is no legal deterrence to UNOCO's participation in business in the petroleum sector. It should trade alongside other players, but perhaps offer more competitive prices that shall outcompete other players to create for it a natural monopoly. Committee recommendation is, the committee recommends that the clause be deleted for buttressing the already rejected monopoly proposal, but also for providing for UNOCO's right to engage in petroleum trade, a position that is already provided for in other legislations. Petroleum products to be imported and supplied by UNOC. Clause 4 introduces a third schedule which lists the petroleum products to be sourced and supplied by UNOC to include premium motor gasoline or super petrol, automatic gasoline or diesel, jet A1 and dual purpose kerosene. Committee recommendation. The committee recommends that the proposed third schedule be deleted consequential to the rejection of the bill. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to report.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kamba, for the report. Dr. Tala, thank you for the report. And you've had both reports. I'll open minimum debate. And as I said before, these reports are informative. What matters is the clauses. Yes, Stephen?
Right Honorable Speaker, Stephen Baka, Mugabe, Bukoli County North. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report of the committee, which is also the majority report. Madam Speaker, this country collectively sat here as represented by their MPs, and we made the law to put in place an institution that would take care of our interests in the oil sector. And that is the Uganda National Oil Company. One of the major mandates is to take care of our interests collectively as a people. It beats my understanding when I hear some quarters of this country, some members, trying to want to put their interests in private companies. How can that be, Right Honorable Speaker? The Uganda National Oil Company, we should collectively empower them to take care of our interests. It's like a child at home. When a father is at home, those children, the parents take care of them. When they are sick, they must be taken to hospital. When it comes to schools, you want the best for your child. And therefore, the Uganda National Oil Company, for me, it is not right for us to use middlemen in Kenya to feed us when we could empower our own, our child. We are a government, we are a people. There is nothing better than empowering our own institutions. We are always crying here about strengthening institutions. And this is an opportunity to strengthen our own institution that can take care of our interests. What is wrong with our own child? Partaking of those profits the third parties are taking in Kenya. And for me, the way I see it, Right Honorable Speaker, because the member alluded to a lot of laws, and I'm a lawyer. Under Article 40, where economic interests are provided, this law does not seek to stifle the businesses of these private companies. They can still get these products from UNOC as if they were getting them from those third parties they were getting from in Kenya. And business will be done without any stifling. So no one is being thrown out of business. It is just empowering UNOC to act as if it were those middlemen in Kenya, earning a lot of money from us.
Honorable members, UNOC is a government entity. Let's run away from the dependency syndrome. We want to depend on those brokers. Huh? Alion. Alion.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to take this chance to also congratulate you upon the twins. I also speak in the capacity of Salongo, so welcome to the family. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here in support of the bill. Right Honorable Speaker, UNOC is a Ugandan company. Right Honorable Speaker, UNOC stands to serve the interests of this nation, Uganda. Who are the shareholders? We have Ministry of Finance that is representing this country with 51% of the shares. 49. Then we've got Ministry of Energy having 51% of the shares. Right Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, you know what we've been going through with oil and fuel prices in this country. You who are listening to me in this house, you're also victims. You know what I'm talking about in commerce. We are tired of our prices being controlled by neighboring countries. We are not against other players, the private companies in this business. But UNOC is here to serve the interests of government in the oil sector. So it beats my understanding when I see my colleagues instead of joining efforts to see that we support UNOC, they are trying to serve selfish interests of private companies in this country.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to
You
submit.
allow Allion to speak. Allion, Mama, you speak.
All right, Honorable Speaker, we have regulators. We are not saying UNOC is going to run as an independent company. No. We've got the Uganda Petroleum Authority. These are some of the regulators. So it's not going to run independently, as my colleagues think. Right, Honorable Speaker, with those few words, as we plan and join our submissions, think about these members who are victims of the high price of fuel. Thank you.
I will have Honorable Nathan, because me and him were in the same business. Then after Nathan, I will have Katesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to state from onset that nobody is saying UNOC should not do business of fear. Nobody has stopped them. Nobody. And the law allows them to do it. If they wanted the money, they should have brought here a budget of $100 million. We give them to go directly to the refinery. Nobody stops them, Madam Speaker. And I want to ask the President and the people advising the President that it is important we give UNOC money.
Honorable Nankabira, can you listen?
It is to ask that the UNOC should be given money and it trades directly from the refinery. Because when you say you're bringing Vitol, now some of you may not be knowing it. It is the shareholder of Vivo Energy. Yeah, it's the own share. And Vivo Energy is the one trading as a share. They are using just a trademark, but in short, what they are trying to do now, they are going to come through their refinery, whatever called the refinery, through UNOC to Vivo, and they are going to control this market. And I can tell you what you are trying to do, you may have been done it for them to make money and at the expense of people of Uganda. Madam Speaker, I have seen your order paper today, which you've approved. And under one of the clauses is 3. You are saying rationalization of government agencies, repeals and amendment bill 2023. Madam Speaker, this was put in because that there are some agencies which are not performing, and you need to merge them to do some active. But even UNOC must have failed, because if we have 30 million liters in ginger, they don't have even 1 liter to be there so that they regulate the market. They are making a mistake. Madam Speaker, let me give an example of Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda is in the forex. I want to talk about on the forex. When the dollar goes too high, they come in to bring in money to bring it down. When the money becomes too low, they go in to mop it out so that the price stabilizes. UNOC could be operating like Bank of what? Uganda. They don't come in to remove forex bureaus. What you do, you regulate the market so that the economy moves. And I want to explain to you how the economy moves in the fuel market. Madam Speaker, oil is the first traded commodity in the whole world. And everybody would love to deal in fuel. And I want to speak and tell you that, one, if you wanted to, that anybody wanted to get, maybe let me ask a question which the minister will answer. How did you get Vitol in the market? How? Because we in the public, we advertise. And when we advertise, people pick their bids and come in, the best bidder evaluated is the one who takes the contract. But this one, I have read all the newspapers. I have even read The Economist, because I read economics. I have not seen an advert by UNOC that it's looking for somebody to supply from the foreign. Amos, Enos, I will help you. Don't panic.
Nathan has a procedure matter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the bill is more of empowering UNOC. Yes, the question my honorable colleague is discussing or trying to debate about is how UNOC will operate. My sincere request to you, Madam Speaker, guide us. Should we first deal with empowering UNOC? Then we get to on the part of how UNOC will operate. Because the discussion, yes, wait a minute. Look at the bill. The bill is not mentioning about Vitol, it's not mentioning about Shell. The argument is, why don't we first deal with empowering UNOC? And then we all agree. Number two, we come on how do we empower UNOC to carry out the operations that we have given in the Act. So, Madam Speaker, kindly guide us on how we should
Honorable
move.
members, the issue is about UNOC. But what Honorable Nandala is raising, is also a food for thought. Now, Nathan is raising an issue that we've already entered into an agreement with Vitol. How did we reach that level? And that is something that should be corrected in the law. That before you enter into that such an agreement, it must be approved by this house. Huh?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when we come in the house, Enos, I want to tell you, I am one of those who comes here for the interest of the country. If you have personal interests, I'm not interested in them. Yes, I want to tell you that. Because what I'm trying to explain, I have not raised anything against, please. On what? Madam Speaker, I want to beg you to do
Can you conclude?
Yes,
We've understood what you're saying.
Yes, no, Madam Speaker, I want to beg you that maybe again you should do an induction for members of parliament. Yes. Because the way they are behaving, they are making the house look. Madam Speaker, I want to move on and say, I have the following, which I want to lay on the table, maybe for members to really follow for this purpose of the law. Madam Speaker, I sorted them. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, there's the Constitutional Court Constitutional Petition number 85 of 2011, which is about spendage interfreight, SD trans, which Kamba talked about. There's a ruling, Madam Speaker, and maybe for purpose of this committee, for this meeting, the ruling is very clear. Unfortunately, the judges on that include, at that time, Onyedoro now is the Supreme Court Chief Justice.
Why is it unfortunate?
No, because if the matter goes again to court there, he will refer to his court. The lower court. That during my lower court, I ruled like this. I don't think he will run away. Of course, Kenneth Kakuru, the late. You can't beat me. I would therefore declare that the act of the respondents executing a contract which purported to vest monopoly rights over clearing, forwarding, and handling services of all imports and exports to and from Uganda through the port of Mombasa in the second respondents is inconsistent with and in contravention of Article 42, Article 43 of the Constitution, and that extent null and void. I would grant the petitioner's costs of this petition, signed on 25th day of August 2020. And Madam Speaker, the Attorney General was then the one who was taken to court with Great Lakes. When the Great Lakes wanted, you had signed a contract, they wanted the monopoly. I lay on the table. Madam Speaker,
Attorney General, I hope you're taking a note.
there is the supplementary. This is the East African Community Competition Act 2006, arrangements of the section, but specifically, Section 5 says prohibition of anti-competitive concerted practices. It was signed by the President of Uganda on 22nd December 2011. This one is against monopoly or competitiveness where there is anti. And Madam Speaker, unless we are moving away from East Africa, I lay it on the table. Madam Speaker, there's the PAD statute, which we have read about, which, all of you, I am going to lay it. This one removed where they said government is a poor businessman, or we can say woman. And Madam Speaker, okay,
No.
man, okay.
Information, give me information. Information. Okay. Information.
So you've given out the microphone?
Information.
You've given out the
Be courteous
microphone?
enough. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Nandala Mafabi, thank you for the wise information. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Like the Honorable Nandala Mafabi has said, we are not against UNOC. But in your report clearly, you've informed this House that UNOC is unable. And therefore, it identified a partner by signing an MOU. And the question is that if you're kicking out middlemen,
Maybe, and it is also saying
Yeah.
that it is also capable of identifying other partners.
agreed, Right Honorable Speaker, and we are not objecting to that. And we are the same House that sat here and passed a law against that would fight the tendency of creating monopolies in this economy. And the reason is to start giving a policy that gives other startups empowerment, just like we are empowering UNOC, but there are also other players. The issue is, and what countrymen will ask us, that we've knocked ourselves before on the matter of Umeme, in the matters of Bujagali, in the matter of Dura Cement, in the matter of Peneti, in coffee, and in the matter of Lubowa Hospital again. And we are coming back as the same House. How shall we explain to the people that we are the very same House that comes here and legislates after agreements have been entered into by government without consulting the people and without involving the people of this country? So the information I wanted to give the Honorable Nandala Mafabi, that we are well informed about the status of UNOC, and we must not be seen to come here to only buttress the agreement that was signed between UNOC and Vitol. Give other players chance, and then you can come back so that we legislate for fair competition.
Madam Speaker, you have heard. Now this is the party statute, and I'm happy that my brother Felix Okot is around. Madam Speaker, there are so many fuel companies. There's BP, there's Excel, there's Total Energy. There are so many. And if government of Uganda wanted, it would have come up and said, we cannot have only one, but many. And if you have many, there would be no issue being raised. And if you want us to empower UNOC, we can do it. Even we can do a tax levy on fuel and say 100 shilling will go towards empowering UNOC, so that tomorrow they are capable to run on this own. We did it to New Vision, and after New Vision had picked up, we allowed other monopolies to do. We said nobody will advertise anywhere in Uganda on government contracts apart from what? New Vision.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I want to conclude. I want to conclude just small things. Madam Speaker, you need information to help. I was in a meeting where a group called SIPA, these are calling themselves something in a name, Sustainable Energies and Petroleum Association. I hope the chair was on that meeting with the chair in the committee. And they were argument, they were saying they wanted more items to be added on the list. But the people who have SIPA are basically members of Vivo Energy. And Madam Speaker, they came to support. Then when members asked, where are other members of SIPA, like Total, like Corex, they said they were busy not coming. And I would like the chairman sent the CID to pick the document. They came without no document. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, I want to state this, that one, nobody is fighting UNOC. What we want to do is let UNOC come here with a budget. We give them money to go to the refinery. We shall give a guarantee. Two, many companies appeared before the committee. They said they have capacity. Madam Speaker, the moment you sign a contract of 2.5 million liters by Vito to Vito. That one, government of Uganda will never go bust. Whoever, that company is going to go all over the world, source money, and come and supply. And the money they are going to get has interest. First, there will be interest on the money, there will be their margins, and there's a monopoly. The moment you create monopoly in this country, the same prices are going to go high. I would plead, members, that for now, the committee should be funded. Madam Speaker, if you agree, this committee should be funded to go and visit oil refineries. We can send you either Singapore or Saudi Arabia or even in Dubai you'll get. You go and learn how fuel is dealt at a refinery. Madam Speaker, a refinery also, it is like a maize mill, where people who have deal in maize take to the maize mill to mill. Then there will be buyers. Are you getting it, Madam Speaker? Even those who bring crude oil come and refine their crude oil to a finished product, but that is the maize mill now. So it is the one which may be knowing who are the buyers. But the owners of the oil are those of the crude what? Oil. And nobody should lie you, it is the refinery which is a problem. The problem is the crude oil dealers, and the refinery knows who are the crude oil dealers and who can buy fuel from the refinery. Madam Speaker, when they demonstrated that picture there, that picture was just trying to take us away. The true story is that most of the big companies, like let's just say Shell and Vivo, for them, if you have a managing director in UK, his salary, there will be a portion on that liter sold in Uganda. So that liter you buy here in Uganda has cost overheads up there. Now you'll discover that there are smaller dealers who have no big overcost. Their pump price is too low because the overhead costs are too low. And that's where we could be fighting and say, you know, is it possible for you to go to the refinery and get the crude oil and we deal with it, but not to be told which is going to be very expensive. I let my case.
Honorable Katesh. Honorable Kamuntu, are you also talking about monopoly? Because you are one of the members who enjoyed monopoly of iron ore in Uganda. Anyway, no, it's okay. Can I have
Honorable
Katesh?
Speaker and colleagues, I have had the chance to facilitate clearance of fuel into this country for many years. And I would like to give information. First of all, strategically, we need to support the bill. And I will explain. Right, Honorable Speaker, all the fuel that comes to Uganda goes through either Mombasa or Dar es Salaam. The government in the neighboring country decided to move away from the existing system, OTS, which was running at premiums as low as $35 per metric ton. And they negotiated premiums of 118 per metric ton in the case of gasoline. That negotiation includes the fuel destined to Uganda. They negotiated a 6-month credit period, but our companies here, when they go to lift the fuel, they must pay up front, meaning that the money that our companies were paying goes directly, is kept in the country to help its forex, and then they pay the company 6 months later. Who is suffering? The Ugandan consumers. So what this bill is trying to ensure, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, is number one, we can negotiate our premium that is much lower than what our neighbors have negotiated. And I think the minister indicated the target that they have set, although I would think that maybe it could even go down. Number two, the region receives around 6 ships of fuel in Mombasa. It has been receiving this fuel as a regional stock, and then it is pumped through the Kenyan pipeline system to Uganda through Eldoret, Kisumu, and other places. Along the way, there are middlemen. What the government is trying to cut now is the middlemen out of the process. So, as it is now, what government is trying to do, looking at our fuel needs per month, which is around 200 million liters monthly, is that Uganda will be able to have 2 ships dedicated for Uganda. If there are no supply chain constraints, then that gives us security of fuel. But that will depend on how organized and how the ministry regulates this process. Now, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, UNOC, the best circumstances would have been that UNOC is capitalized, right? To buy directly this fuel from refineries. That should be the future that we should be looking at. Listen. When I talk about future, future can be tomorrow.
No, it's not the future.
That should be the ideal situation. This house is in charge of appropriation.
Honorable members, it's just a matter of wording. It is an ideal illustration. That's what we should do. There's a motion. There is a motion. When the motion comes, there is a motion. There is a motion.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Members, having heard from various submissions from members, I move a motion that we close the debate and we move on committee stage.
Honorable members, for the health of the speaker, we close the debate. Is it seconded? Seconded by Kabanda, by Namilian, by the whole house. Thank you so much. The kids have to breastfeed. Honorable members, on the forum I have 118 virtually, and I have 68. I mean, in the house physically 118 and virtually 68. So we have the quorum. I put the question that the Petroleum Supplement Bill 2023 be read for the second time. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023, Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
Clause 1. There is no amendment. Yes.
Madam Speaker, clause 1 is the one deleting competition in the oil sector. Madam Speaker, I wanted to propose that clause 1 be deleted. The justification is that clause 1, we facilitate the Nile Oil Company, the UNOC, Uganda National Oil Company, to be given money also to compete with others in the oil sector. Failure to do that, we are creating a monopoly which will be dangerous for this country.
Honorable members, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to put a suggestion that we insert we insert a section on the commencement date of this act, once signed, because it has a cost implication for the oil
Is that on
companies.
clause 1?
No, I was suggesting, Madam
No, let's-
Chair, that before clause 1, we put a commencement date.
Honorable member, committee stage moves clause by clause. Clause 1, Honorable Nandala is saying we should delete so that we remove the monopoly of, Members, for me, is that how there's a con? Honorable members, Honorable Nathan is saying that we should delete that clause.
No.
Have you put a question? I am going to put a question on Nandala's proposal. Those in favor of deleting the clause, say and the contrary, nay. Honorable members, the nays have it. I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Clause 2. Clause 2. I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Clause 3. I put a question that clause 3 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Schedule.
Schedule. I put a question that the schedule stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto.
Honorable members, I put a question that the House does resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Chair.
Procedure, Chair.
I'm in the middle of moving the motion.
Honorable Mugema Panado of Iganga.
Yes, now,
Can you kindly sit?
It is a procedure, Madam.
No, sit.
It is a request from the Speaker. It is a request.
Since when? Since when did I? Kabanda cannot stand. Can you continue?
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to report that the committee of the whole House has considered the Petroleum Supplies Amendment Bill 2023 and he has passed all the amendments the proposals without an amendment. I beg to.
Thank you.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that the report of the Committee of the Whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the House adopts the report of the Committee of the Whole House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Bills, third reading. The Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023.
The quorum still is maintained. Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Petroleum Supplies Amendment Bill be read the third time and do pass.
Honorable members, I put a question that the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Petroleum Supply Amendment Act 2023.
The bill is passed and title settled.
I'm going to the next item. Item 7, motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry on the inquiry into the governance of and value for money for budgetary appropriations to cooperatives for the financial years 2011, 2012 to the financial year 2022, 2023.
Honorable members, there was a report that was being investigated by the Committee of Trade, and having read the report thoroughly, Honorable Minister, can you come back? Honorable Minister, sit there, and because you even have to thank the House for passing your bill. Honorable members, the report that we are talking about, and I want you to attend to this, listen to this attentively. Because today it is me, tomorrow it is somebody else. Having read the report, the investigation was done by us, and the findings of the report bordered to criminality. And I find it hard as a House for us to be the ones to debate that report. I am therefore forwarding that report to CID, to IGG, to DPP. We are not competent enough to take actions on those reports. So that report is retired from the order paper and forwarded. I will ask the clerk to forward it over to those institutions for further administration and management. I hope you've understood it. Kabanda, you have something to say?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would, of course, have something to say if I saw the report, because we have coordinator. We have some people that we know were involved in taking our money for the cooperatives, and according to the information we have, those people were not captured in the report. They were saved, and others that were saved, Madam Speaker, belong to this side, opposition side. They also ate the money. It would be important that this House go through the report so that we know who is going to appear before those authorities that are going to be investigating these people. If these people are not there, if they have not been captured in the report, Parliament must come back and we go through, because we cannot pretend to be fighting corruption, and at the end of the day, those people who go on TVs, who are supposed to check us, they are the beneficiaries. After a year, they go pretending to be fighting corruption. They pretend to be fighting President Museveni, and we save the same people. Madam Speaker, it would be important that all of us look at the report, because we have some evidence that these people were involved in taking
Honorable members, as a presiding officer, I have been judicious enough. I have read the report.
Hey, what up, Calligraph Jones, Papa Jones in the place. We out here, Coke Studio, you know what it is. Let's go.
Conducted by Committee of Parliament, it would be important, much as you have decided as the custodian of our rules to refer, but let it be applauded for us to read for information purposes in order for us to also internalize the findings and recommendations of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, members, and I don't want members to speculate. Don't speculate. Read the report, understand it, and the action will be taken by relevant people. You're not the people to do that work. And Madam, proceed here. I'm adjourning the House to 2 tomorrow.